Welcome everyone, and here it is, the Mercedes W13 on iRacing, replacing the brilliant car that was the W12. Of course, this car has had its issues in development throughout the year. That's been quite well documented, but I'm still happy that this car is on the platform. We weren't quite sure if we was going to get it or not, but it's another official Mercedes F1 car that is as close to the real thing as possible that we're going to get to driving. So for that, I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to the challenge it's going to provide. Because are we going to get the version that porpoised like a dolphin at the start of the 22 season? Or are we going to get the version that George Russell took to a brilliant win at Brazil? I'm intrigued to find out, and intrigued to see where the differences are in the driving capabilities of this car compared to the W12. Because sometimes, as much as I loved driving the W12, it did feel like it was a bit too easy to drive, and it was on rails sometimes. And I do like something that is a bit more of a challenge and very rewarding. Not to say that the W12 wasn't, but yes, I said, sometimes it just felt it was too easy. Like, this can't be as easy as what Formula One should be. It should be a bit more difficult. So yeah, intrigued to find out how this drives. Of course, we're going to look at the cockpit in itself, see how it varies to the W12, because of course this is a whole new set of regulations, the ground effect era, and yeah, the cars look very different to how they were in the past. So intrigued to see how that is from the cockpit, and then of course we're going to take it out on track and see how it fares. So remember to hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Turn those notifications on, and let's get into it. Right guys, here we are in the cockpit of the Mercedes W13, and before you guys say anything about the transparent halo, I do this, guys, so that you can see the road ahead. I do not get affected by the halo in VR, of course, but on a 2D screen it blocks a bit of the view ahead, so that's why I've got it transparent. But yeah, let's look at the cockpit in itself. So pretty identical steering wheel to the W12, nothing changed there. Now, what does shout out to me straight away is that the nose of this car in front of the wheel is a little bit higher. It's like a bulge, and it feels like the car is shorter, and therefore the wheels are a lot further ahead of me. That's what I feel straight and foremost looking out of this cockpit compared to the W12. And of course, how can those wheels, those larger wheels compared to 2021, they really do sit quite high there in your vision, especially with those guards. I don't really know what to call them. I don't think they've still got an official name. Mud guards, wheel flaps, whatever they are. I imagine they're going to be a bit of a problem looking into the apex, so intrigued to see how that fares when we hop out on track. And then if we have a look to our left or our right, we can see those wing mirrors as well, which also caused a little bit of a stir at the start of the season, whether they were compliant or not. They were, and they're attached to what is of the side pod that this car has, because as we know, it has a no side pod concept. So yeah, that's pretty much it. They're the big glaring differences. Let's see how this thing handles out on track. Ooh, right. So it sounds pretty similar to the W12. Nothing really different there. Oh my god, so yeah, I can't see that apex there. You can probably see that on your screen as well. I couldn't see that apex. That's always been quite a difficult one to hit at the best of times, but with these larger wheels and those flaps, yeah, that was quite that was almost blocked from view, I think. Right, let's get round here and let's start putting our foot down. Let's see how this car handles. Oh my god, guys. Oh no, porpoising. Ah! I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I couldn't resist. So, Maggots and Beckett's. Total right through there. Now, I do kid about the porpoising, but I don't know if you can see, it is bobbing up and down a little bit. Now, I don't know if that is the porpoising or if that is just the bumps in the road. These cars do have to be run very low to the ground with the new ground effect to get the peak performance. That was the issue that Mercedes had originally with their design, was that by running the car very low ground, or low to the ground, the car then got the porpoising effect, whereas the Red Bull and the Ferrari didn't so much so. Of course, the Red Bull was the best at this. The Ferrari still did get some porpoising. Mercedes suffered more than anyone else on the grid, I think. So let's just have a look down here again. It's definitely bobbing up and down a little bit. I don't know if that's due to the design of the front end, as I said, where it's a little bit more, it feels like the front end's a bit shorter than it is in the W12. But that's not something I noticed in the W12 compared to here. So maybe it is a bit of porpoising being replicated here, guys. This is a fixed setup. So it'd be interesting to see once the setup shop guys get their hands on the setups and tailor it to themselves, if we do start to see that, and if there has to be, yeah, running the car as low down to the ground, maybe that has to be sacrificed because of the porpoising. Who knows? I'm intrigued to find out. But overall, it feels good, especially for the high-speed corners. Feels like the W12. Going through these slower corners, though, it does feel a little bit more sluggish, I won't lie. I think these cars are heavier anyway than their predecessors. And it does feel a little bit, as we get through this corner, I really can't see the apex here until it's like on me. But it does feel like it's just a bit more sluggish down the straights as well. Like it hasn't got as much oomph as the W12, and I can't throw it into the corners compared to the W12. Of course, I'm mentioning the W12 a lot because it's we've just obviously put that thing in the garage, and this is the car that has taken its place. Of course, this is a whole new design and set of regulations in regards to how the aero works. It is now predominantly created from underneath the car with the ground effect rather than it running over the car, and what that gives us is less dirty air from the cars in front, and has allowed closer racing this season, which we've seen throughout real life. So hopefully that is replicated in iRacing, and yeah, we see even more closer racing than we have done with the W12. One thing I will say, guys, is that I really do hope that with these new larger tyres, that the data Mercedes has given them allows for a tyre that does degrade a bit quicker than we saw in the W12, because I loved doing the 100% races last season, which were run in conjunction with the real life F1 calendar. And the one thing that I was just a little bit disappointed about is that there wasn't enough races that enforced a two-stop race. They were the most interesting races that I had, and most enjoyable races as well, when I raced the 100% series, and we didn't get enough of that due to the tyres just lasting too long. So I'm hoping that these ones do degrade a little bit more. And then the Mercedes as well was known for this year in taking a lot longer than all their competitors in regards to switching on the tyres. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how that plays out in the longer races, tyre wear. But yeah, guys, the car feels good. Do you know what? It feels good. As we can see, a little bit of porpoising again. I know I keep pointing it out, but I'm intrigued to find out if that is the car or if that is just the track itself. I'm going to have to hop back in the W12 and see it. Maybe do a comparative video and see if that is the case. But yeah, really, guys, the thing that stands out it's a little bit more sluggish down the straights, hasn't got as much oomph out of the slower corners, and it's a little bit more sluggish through the slower corners as well. But through the high speed sections, where you need high downforce, it doesn't feel really any different. And of course, your vision being impaired by those larger wheels and guards. Let's go through this lap one more time. Definitely think this car is probably going to reward more of a smoother driving style than it will an aggressive, someone who likes to attack the corners. This car just doesn't really feel like it suits that style. Soft steering movements, smooth. But Maggots and Beckett's, to be honest, it feels just as good as it did in the W12. Just takes a bit longer to get to where you want to, that's all. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. Looking forward to it. The W12 sometimes felt a little bit too easy to drive. So much so that you couldn't believe you was driving an F1 car. But surely an F1 car should be harder to drive than this. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. I hope you can stay with this channel. We'll be bringing you plenty of content on this. I'm going to go pop into a race right now actually and see how this handles in a race scenario. Can we follow closer? Can we have some good racing? And how are others faring with it? And hopefully anticipation stays up with the series. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that first look. Turn those notifications on because I will be posting a video of the race that I'm about to go and do. So yeah, plenty of W13 content coming your way, guys, this season. I'm going to do some comparative videos with the W12 as well, so we can see just how much different this car is to its predecessor. So let's go, guys. I'm going to go do a race. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.